What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to increase your show rate. Now, with my specific agency helping HVAC contractors as well, now helping concrete contractors, I have a 72% show rate on average of a duration of 12 months. Okay, so it's not like 1 month and then like 2 months I had for 72%. This was over 12 months of owning and running my agency. So that being said, I'm going to dive in and show you guys how you can increase your show rate if you're having people that are unqualified come through and they're just not showing up, or whether you're booking a shit ton of appointments. It's just you cannot convert and get those people onto the sales calls. So let's dive right into it. Enough yapping from me. So when it comes to increasing the show rate, there's basically four things that we want to focus on. You're going to have your ads, right? So talking to the right people. You're going to have either a new lead funnel or a book call funnel. Now I'm going to show you guys both today, whether you're running a new lead funnel or you're optimizing for book calls. And then as well, I'll also show you what to do if someone no-shows you. That way you can get them rebooked onto the calendar. And again, give your closer a chance of collecting some cash. All right. So let's dive in here. We'll take a look at number one is going to be your ads. So why are ads important? Why, in a sense, why does it matter what your ad says in it? What's the messaging? What is actually being shown in the ad? Because at the end of the day, I hope you guys realize, but Facebook, if you're running Facebook ads or even let's just say meta ads, they look at everything. The algorithm AI looks at absolutely everything. Whatever's going on in the background, the AI picks it up and it will collect the interest of what's going on in that video, for example, or it's a picture, and it will start to target people that are looking for those certain things, have interests like that. So let's dive in. What are the important things when you look for when it comes to the ads itself? So if we want to, again, increase our show rate, essentially what I like to say is number one, I'll just write it like that. Number one, you need to be talking to rich people. Okay. Now, why do I say that? Right? The reason I say this is because if you want someone to show up, if you want someone to respect your time, let alone respect their own time, right? That's typically going to be your high-end business owner, your rich business owner, the person who actually owns a business, not the person who's in the business and is operating in the business, the person who's running the business and takes a step back, has people that they're managing, has people that are managing the people that are working, right? They have an actual system and an actual team. These guys are real business owners. They're not on the tools. They're not these guys that are in the field and are working away, slaving away. These are guys who are sitting at their desk, have collared shirts on, and they're running a business. So you want to talk to these specific people. Now, how do you talk to these people? Well, first off, right? Number two here is you need to make your messaging better. Okay. Your messaging has to portray to the people that you're trying to get into your funnel, right? If you're calling out guys that are doing $5,000 to $10,000 a month, guys, keep in mind, this is not an agency, right? Maybe if you're watching this video, you're an agency. I mean, you probably do. That being said, you're going to be called out. Someone's going to call you out in an ad if you're doing in and around, like, on average, $15,000 to $20,000, right? That's typically what people call out when it comes to the agency. When it comes to contracting, when it comes to blue collar, when it comes to home service companies, you cannot call out a company that's doing 15 to 20,000. I've even actually seen it even worse. I've seen $10,000 call outs. Guys, people that are making $10,000 a month or even up to $50,000 a month with a construction company, they're not making money, right? For an example, a concrete project, just because I'm helping concrete contractors, and again, I actively run my agency. That's why what I'm telling you right now actually works, because I'm using it and I'm doing it. When you're calling out concrete contractors, you're not going to call out someone who's doing $15,000 a month, because an average job should be in and around anywhere from about 7,000 to 10,000, right? This is an average job. The higher end projects are in and around 30,000 to 50,000, right? And then obviously there's massive projects that are beyond that. But the average, the average mid-range job is about 10,000. The average, let's say, higher end job is going to be in that $30,000 mark. If you're calling out someone who's doing 50,000, that means they're essentially doing 2 jobs a month, right? And we're not looking for that type of person. We're looking for the guy who's essentially already has the system, already has the team in place. So you need to call out that specific person. Now, how do you do that? Again, don't call out the guy who's doing, let's say, 15K to 20K a month, right? The people that we're going to be calling out are going to be guys doing 100K a month, right? Guys that are doing $2 million a year, right? Guys that are doing, let's say, even $5 million a year. The higher the call out, the more people that will come through the funnel, but as well, the more people that you will disqualify. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? If you call it a guy who's doing $15,000 a month, you will not have the guy doing $100,000 a month opt into your ad. If you call it a guy who's doing, let's say, $500,000 a year, you're not going to have the guy doing $2 million a year opt in, right? Maybe like once in a blue moon, but you definitely won't have the guy who's doing $5 million a year opt in. If you want the higher end people, you need to call those people out. You need to attract them. You need to speak to them. And how do you do that? Again, that's the call out. So the messaging is a couple points. This is your call out. Okay. That's your call out. Now, what we need to also focus on is the pain points. Okay. Here is number 3. We'll go pain points. You need to call out their struggles. Guys, rich people, they don't give a shit about your pain. Like essentially in the sales calls, and I always tell my guys this, anyone in my mentorship or in the mastermind, you cannot speak to rich people how you speak to your average person. They don't have a need for more money, right? They're just going to get more money because they're business owners and they actually want to grow the business. But end of the day, they're not going to say, "Oh man, like if I don't get this extra $1 million this year, I'm gonna struggle," right? No, they're probably already making $5 million a year. What the fuck? Another $1 million? Yeah, well, obviously it's nice. That's what their goal is. They want to increase the business and grow it. But if they don't make that $1 million, they don't give a shit, right? Well, I shouldn't say they don't give a shit. It's not going to hurt them. They're not going to be closing the doors. We'll put it that way, right? What's going to happen and how you speak to these guys is you need to speak on, in a sense, the logistics, the actual struggles that they might be facing. For example, a struggle that someone who's doing $5 million a year will be facing is, for example, I want to hire on 5 more sales reps. That way, I can increase my revenue to, let's say, $10 million a year. Right? When they actually run the business, they know the numbers. They say, "Well, I want to get $2 million extra this year. I need 2 more sales reps with this many appointments, an average close rate of this." They'll be able to tell you these numbers. And when it comes to that, you have to speak logistics. You can't say, "Oh, so like, I mean, what happens if you don't get these guys on? What happens if you don't get them appointments?" Dude, I don't give a shit, right? I'm going to do it. I'm making more money. I run a $5 million business, right? I'm not struggling. I'm not closing no fucking doors. That's how they will react to you. So you have to be very important, or sorry, you have to kind of focus on the pain points of which that person, that real business owner making $5 million a year is struggling with. And the pain points, it's not going to be, I got to close my doors. It's going to be, I want to hire on, more sales reps. Right. So let's say he wants to hire on more sales reps. Another struggle, okay, could be quality, right? So they have a quality issue. Maybe they're getting, let me just erase that. Maybe they are getting, let's put it down. Let me just write this first. Maybe they are getting a bunch of volume. Okay. They're getting a shit ton of volume. But the thing with them is he's saying, my closers are only closing, again, they'll know their numbers, 35% of every single deal. And he says, well, in order for me to hit this mark without having to do this and this and this, right, I need them to get to a 40% close rate. Okay. That's all he needs. And again, the right business owner knows these numbers. He'll say, in order for me to make what I want to make this year, they've probably already done the math. I need to go from a 35% to a 40%. So essentially, they don't need more volume, they need more quality, right? And to them, I'm going to talk about quality. What kind of like what's quality to you? What do you mean? What exactly is a quality person? Well, they might say, I need a homeowner who knows their budget, okay? And they'll say, well, actually, the budget has to be in and around $20,000 plus. Okay. All of our projects are $20,000 plus. I can't do it for less than that. I need to have a person who already has 20 grand and is wanting to spend it. As well, I need a person who is 2 to 3 weeks out. Okay. 2 to 3 weeks out from doing their project. Guys, these are all struggles. Now, why am I telling you this? This is stuff on the sales call, you might say. Well, unfortunately, you need to make sure that you're calling these people out. And how do you do that? Well, you speak on their struggles. In the ads, you want to talk to rich people. Well, the messaging has to be clear. You have to call out a rich person who's doing $2 million a year, $5 million a year. Whatever the top of your market is, you need to call that person out. Okay. And the pain points. Well, if you're hopping on sales calls and you're talking to rich people, you already know the pain points. Their pain points are going to be the quality, right? Maybe they want to hire more sales reps. So they need budget and they need the people to be urgent and ready. So you're going to use this in your ad, right? Let's say, for example, Concrete contractors doing $5 million a year. Are you struggling with low quality leads and people who just don't know their budget and aren't ready to move forward in the next 2 to 3 weeks? Right, I'm calling that out. You need to be very specific in the messaging in your ad, whether it's a video or a static. I always recommend videos because you can get very, very personal and call it the specific person. But that being said, you guys need to use all these struggles and pain points to your advantage. Okay. Now that's why I'm kind of going over these things here. Now, aside from ads, once you got these people through, essentially you're going to have two funnels here. You either have a new lead funnel. Okay. So you're optimizing for new leads, or what you're optimizing for is a booked call funnel. Now, regardless, I'm going to show you both super quickly here. The new lead funnel, essentially what happens is a new lead's going to come in. Okay. Now, what you need to do right away is call these people in 1 to 2 minutes. Don't listen to the bullshit people say, oh, in the first 5 minutes, the first 10 minutes, you're fine. No, not at all. I've actually sat down, again, over 400 calls we've tracked. And I'll tell you right now, the best pickup rate is in the 1 to 2 minute mark, not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. Maybe you've heard different niches. Contracting itself, if you're talking to construction companies or home service business, you got to understand these guys will be on their phone for a split second. And then 2 seconds later, 2 minutes later, 5 minutes later, they're back on the site, right? Maybe they're talking to other people. If they're a very busy business owner, people are gonna be calling them nonstop. People are gonna be asking them questions nonstop. So you need to make sure that the second that they're free in this 1 to 2 minutes, you're calling them. Okay. Don't wait 5 minutes. Don't wait 10 minutes. Call them immediately. From there, we're gonna be doing, and say for example, they opt in the morning. In the morning, okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna double dial them 2 times. You're gonna call. Okay. Reason for that is because sometimes people are on D&D. So if you call them once, it goes straight to voicemail. If you call them one more time, it'll go to right to their phone and actually get through. As well, me personally, when someone calls me once and I don't know the number, I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm not answering that. But number two, sorry, if they call me a second time and I see that it's the same number, I'm like, oh, this person probably needs something. They probably know who I am. There's probably a reason why they're calling. Let me pick it up and just see what's up, right? And I'll pick up the call. So it's really important you double dial. For example, in the morning, I do two calls. So call them once in a sense, but you're double dialing. If they don't answer, well, then guess what? In the afternoon, you guys are going to be doing the exact same thing, right? 2 times, you're going to be calling them. You have to in the afternoon. And again, it's the same thing for the evening. You guys need to be on top of your new leads. Do not let them sit there. Don't let them try to talk to someone else. You guys need to be attentive and very, very quick to these people. That way, you are the first person to speak to them. And from there, you book them on a call, right? At the end of the day, that's all we're focusing on. If you're doing a new lead funnel, you're looking to get people booked on a call, right? Talk to your closer. So it's really, really important that your setters are on top of this and making sure that they are getting in touch with the leads immediately. As well, don't be afraid to text these people over and over again. Hey man, saw you looking for new estimates, saw you looking for more quality estimates, whatever your video is about, your ad's about, make sure you have the same messaging in the new text messages and even when you jump on the call with these guys. Okay. Now, that being said, as well with the new lead, when your appointment setter is on a call with them, you need to make sure that they're doing these couple things. Okay. One is gathering some pain points. Now, if they are, again, rich, it's just going to be understanding, not more or less, hey, what happens if you don't do this? You're going to close your doors? No. What happens essentially is you're going to be talking about things in specific. I'm just going to use the exact same example over here is the sales reps, right? So you're going to gather pain points and they might say, well, I need to hire on 5 more sales reps. Okay, awesome. Now to hire on 5 more sales reps, I guess, like, what do you need, right? Oh, I need, about 10 appointments every single day, or sorry, every single week for one person. Okay, so you need about 50 appointments a week. Okay, and what you're doing right now, do you see yourself doing that? No. Okay, and why not? Right? And then they'll elaborate on why what they're doing is not working. Okay. So again, you got to talk logistics with these guys. Do not talk, oh, like you're going to close your business down. That's not how they operate. Right. As well, once you got out the pain points, let's say you're about to book a call, you need to make sure that you make this call something tangible. You can't just say, all right, man, hey, we got you booked in for 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'll see you there, and hang up the phone. They will not show up. So when your appointment setter books someone in, you need to make sure that and confirm that they got an email. Okay. So they got an email, they open the email, not only just got it, they also open it. And as well, let's say you have like pre-call videos and stuff like that, make sure they look at that, right? Just let them know, hey, right here, you're gonna see in the email, you're gonna see a pre-call video, or you're gonna see this quick video. Just make sure you get that a watch. It's got timestamps. It's really important, guys. A little quick note there. I shouldn't be giving this away because I give this away to my the guys in the mastermind. Timestamps. Put timestamps in your video. You can't expect a guy who's rich to have 10 minutes, 15 minutes to watch an entire video. Timestamp the important parts and make sure that they can quickly go to that part and understand what they want to understand and watch what they want to watch, right? So make sure they open an email. And then as well, again, just double check, confirm 3 times if you have to. All right, man. Well, that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to send you over some reminders, getting closer to your appointment. That being said, as well, our advisor, our sales rep, like whatever you guys call your closer, someone's going to be reaching out to you just to kind of introduce themselves and so on, right? But other than that, man, look forward to having the team and you speak together tomorrow. Something along the lines, right? That's what you're telling the person. Now, when I say reminders, this is where your closer is going to take over. The closer is going to be sending out personalized messages. And I'm going to get into this on the book call funnel just because I don't want to explain everything in the new lead. But once you get into that book call funnel, that's where I'll explain that. So reminders we sent out. The appointment setter is going to let the person know that reminders we sent out, getting texts and emails, and getting closer to. I might even give you a call. You're setting the expectations. That way, you guys probably have it right now where someone says, hey, what the fuck's going on? You keep messaging me, you keep emailing me, you keep calling me. Leave me alone. Guys, that's because the expectations were not set correctly. If you just let someone know, hey, man, closer to the appointment, we're actually giving you a call. I understand you guys get busy. Things come up. You're very, very busy business owners. Don't worry. We'll make sure you guys are reminded and we're good for a call. Okay. Now, that being said, on to the book call funnel. Okay. So let's scroll up here to the book call funnel. Now, the book call funnel is one of my favorites. I actually only operate in the book call funnel now these days because I don't like to talk to people who aren't, again, have high intent. So how do I do that? Well, I only talk to people who are actually self-booking and booking in their own call, because someone who goes ahead and books their own call means they actually have a problem and they want to solve it. Not just, oh, hey, the ad looked really good. Let me give you my first name, email, phone number, and to have a good fucking day. No, right? The guys who book a call in a book call funnel by themselves are very high intent, right? Now, I don't recommend this unless you're spending about $100 a day on ads. And the reason being is because it's going to take a lot of money to figure out what ads are working. And sometimes I might even tell guys in the mastermind to actually start running the new lead funnel to optimize your pixel, get your account, your Facebook account, fully understanding of who you're targeting, and then really pinpoint that person. But once you have $100 a day budget, I would definitely recommend you go over to the book call funnel. Now, aside from that, the reason I use book call funnel, like I mentioned, is because people who essentially want to fix a problem are going to be your rich person. So that's rich people, your rich business owner. And the rich business owner, they're not going to wait around. They're looking for an immediate fix. They're looking for something to get going right now, not in 6 months, right? They understand business. They understand it takes speed and it takes execution. They're not sitting around for another 6 months thinking, oh, I got to think about it, right? No, that's not how they operate. They're very, very fast people. So the book call funnel is very, very, in a sense, effective when you're talking to rich people because they understand the business. They understand how it works. Now, that being said, first point of the book call funnel is once someone books in on the call, everything in your text is going to be through an iPhone in blue. Can't write today, in blue messaging. So blue messages. Okay. Reason for that is because it gives it an authentic feeling. The business owner sees a blue message come through on their iPhone. That means they're talking to a real person, right? This call just got a whole lot more real versus someone who sends out a nice GHL green text or a HubSpot green text. Guys, that shit doesn't work anymore, right? You've never been scammed by a blue message. You've only been texted by a blue message from a real person. All your friends text you on blue messages. Very, 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 very rarely does someone have an Android or a green, shooting green text to you. Matter of fact, I don't think anyone of my friends have a a green text, right? So blue text messages make it a whole lot more authentic. Now, the book call funnel is going to be very, very dependent on your closer. The closer needs to make sure that the second that that call comes through, you guys have what I actually do is in GHL in all my systems, we send out the text message to the closer. Okay. From there, the closer, all they have to do is copy that message and shoot it off to the number that it's associated with, to that person who booked the call. And from there, it makes it really, really fucking easy. But as well, in the blue messages, we're also making it personalized. Okay. So everything is going to use their name. It's not going to be um, it's not going to be like some generic message. Everything's going to be completely personalized to what they're talking about or what their form said. Right? You're making $100,000. You're gonna talk about that $100,000 as well. You're gonna make it personalized because you're gonna be sending out a video. So number two is you're gonna send out a video that's about 30 seconds long. Okay. And in that video, essentially what you're going to be doing is you're going to be talking about what will be talked about on the call. Okay. On the call, essentially, how I do it is and I'll just give you a quick example. You're going to take your phone, okay? The closer's going to take their phone. It doesn't have to be anything special. Just make sure that your setting looks nice and professional. It doesn't look like you're in the background with a fucking bunch of dirty clothes. It doesn't look like they're in the middle of a job site and absolute disaster. Like, make sure your closer's in a good setting. It looks professional. That way, your business looks like it's professional and you hold the standard, right? We're talking to rich people here. We're not talking to broke people. And when you're talking to rich business owners, guys who actually operate a business, they want to talk to someone who also operates a real business. So how do you do that? When the closer sends over a video, it's gonna be something like this, right? They take their phone, put it in selfie mode, not like a whole high def camera. You're gonna say, "Hey, what's going on? My name is Dorian. I saw you just booked in a call, right? Hey, John, I saw you just booked in a call. I just want to quickly run you through a few things here and just kind of talk about essentially what the call is going to be about, right? That being said, our call is going to go over X, Y, Z, and as well, I don't know if you saw, but when you booked in the call, you probably got redirected to a page that looks like this. And I flip my screen, I flip the camera around, and I show them a screen, right? I go through my landing page, my pre-call page, whatever you guys have, and say, hey, right here, there's a couple testimonials, right? Just make sure you guys watch those. I want you to be I want to be fully transparent. We don't hide anything here. We want you guys to be fully understanding of what this call is about and what it's for, right? Again, say, look forward to speak with you. Have a good one. If you have any questions between now and then, feel free to shoot them my way. Super quick, right? And I'm just kind of explaining different ways you guys can talk. But that being said, you need to make sure it's super personalized and your closer sounds professional, right? The reason for this video is people judge me right away. People judge you right away. The second someone sees you, they're judging you. Doesn't matter what it is. They're judging your clothes. They're judging your look. They're judging your background. They're judging you. They're judging everything, right? The quality of the video. They're going to judge everything. So the reason for this, reason why we send a personalized video is one, no one else does this. No agencies do it. Everyone likes to send out these green texts and leave it at that. What you're going to be doing is separate yourself by being very authentic, in a sense, scaring away the person or giving them every reason to go ahead and cancel the call, right? If you're saying that video, you're saying, hey, man, on this call, we're actually going to go over a little bit about your business. We're going to talk about what you guys are doing. We're going to understand your business itself, the numbers, and essentially see where we can help you, right? Now, that might scare off people. They might say, well, I don't want to talk about my business. I don't want to talk about numbers. I want to talk about you, right? And that's not a real business owner. That's not someone who has a real problem, who's looking for it to be solved. That's just someone who's, in a sense, just bored and they want to book calls for the fun of it because they have no jobs coming through and they want to talk to someone, right? So again, with that, you're going to be scaring off people. And in all my messaging, I'm trying to scare off people. It starts with the ad. I'm calling out guys doing $5 million a year, not the guys doing 5 to 10K a month, because I want to scare those guys off. I don't want to talk to them. My landing page is going to say, who is this for? Who is this not for? Scare off the guys who it's not for. In the personalized video, I'm going to be talking over things. I'm going to be showing them, hey, watch this, watch that. And if they don't want to watch it, by all means, don't fucking watch it. But the person who is actually ready and is looking for a solution, they're going to watch it. I promise you guys. Okay. So that being said, number two, again, send them over a personalized video. And then number three, again, kind of deals and ties back into the blue messages. You're going to make sure that you're sending over reminders in blue. Okay. So like I said, just how on the new lead funnel where the appointment setter said, hey, we're going to be sending out reminders. When you send out that personalized video, just make sure they say, hey, man, as well, we're going to be sending out reminders. You'll get the messages from this phone here. But take a look out for, have a look out for these messages because we're going to be sending them your way, right? So that being said, there's blue messages, there's a videos, and then as well, okay, in the mentorship and mastermind, what we do heavily is retarget, okay? So we retarget these people. We try to reach them on every single platform. So we're texting, we're calling them, we're sending out videos, we're emailing them as well. The most important thing is we're retargeting these guys with videos that answer the questions. Like I said, all the way through this funnel, we're trying to scare someone off. How do you scare them off? Well, you kind of answer things and you point out the obvious, right? People always think, oh, let me hide this from the person. Let me try to get them on the call and then I'll tell them. No, don't waste your time, right? If you have a product that's $10,000, you need to talk like it's a $10,000 product. Don't talk like it's a $400 a month product. Talk like it's $10,000. Tell them this is not cheap. This is not going to be for the low income business. This is going to be for someone who's ready for a solution and is ready to invest and make a whole shit ton more money, right? And how you do that? Well, is through retargeting. So we have our system that again I give to everyone, and we set up all with you guys in the mastermind in the mentorship. And in a sense, we're putting out videos that are answering basic questions. Okay, these people will see you once they book a call. They're gonna be seeing these videos, and once they watch one video, it stops shooting it to them and it sends out another video, and so on. Right? That way, we just warm them up. We're essentially just shooting out propaganda and saying, "Hey, this is what we do. Join the fucking call," right? If you don't want to join the call, cancel the fucking call. That's how we're gonna be talking. We're shooting out this propaganda that basically says what we do, how we do it, and how we can help this person, and the reason why they should join the call. So you're shooting out basic questions. So you're answering the basic questions as well. You're going to be as well. Number two is there's always going to be secondary questions. So you're answering any secondary questions that might come from someone answering the first question or asking the first question, right? So secondary questions are being answered. Okay. As well, what you're doing is you're shooting off testimonials to these guys. Okay. So very, very important. You're shooting off testimonials, and the testimonials don't always put out the good testimonials, right? We as people, this is a very, very skeptical time, and everyone has the lowest trust. If you can make it authentic, again, make it authentic. Tell them the guys that don't work good with us is this, right? The people that do good with us, they do this. This is how they operate their business. This is what they do, right? They come in, they understand advertising is not a 1 month fucking operation. It could take 5 months before they see a massive ROI. Now, keep in mind, if you're a good advertiser, it's not going to take you 5 months, but you need to set the expectation that the first month essentially could be absolutely nothing, right? And I always do that. That's how I set expectations. I tell these guys, hey, man, we can launch your ads pretty quick, but in the beginning months, I wouldn't tell you to expect anything. Matter of fact, I want you to come in with expectation that you're going to take this money and essentially lose it in the first month. But the second month, I'll tell you right now, we'll understand what's working, and we're going to make sure you get an ROI on that on the second month, right? The third month, whatever it is. But with that, what happens is in the first month, when I land them a shit ton of projects, they're sitting there like, dude, why'd you tell me that, right? I'm making a shit ton of money now. But it's better than you saying, oh, I'm going to make you $100,000. Comes to it, you made him 10 grand. Maybe you need to make him a fucking dollar, right? So set the expectations at the worst. That way, when they come in, they expect that, like they expect very, very minimum, and then you guys just shoot above and beyond and get them really good results. Okay. So number three, there's testimonials, and then as well, number four, essentially what we're doing here is more or less the propaganda and telling them why they should book the call. In a sense, what I like to do is just shoot it exactly what you're going over in the videos, shoot exactly what you're going over, who this works for, who this doesn't work for. And the reason for that is because this is going to basically target them and let them know before the call why they should join or why they shouldn't join and why they should cancel the call. Okay. So that being said, again, number four is more or less it's I'm just going to put here to in a sense fear people, make them fear wanting to call or even go ahead and cancel the call, right? So types of videos like that, right? Types of people like who this is for, okay? That's what you want number four to be, right? You're making videos like who this is for. So basic questions are answered, secondary questions from the basic questions definitely arise. Testimonial videos, right? Who you guys are, people that in a sense are doing good and are doing bad, right? You're gonna have the not best testimonials. But you'll definitely have a lot of good testimonials, right? It's really important that you do mix it in. That way, it's kind of like a fine line between I'm authentic and we're just gonna give it to you. Here's how it is. And then number four here is just kind of scaring people away, making them fear to have that call if they're not qualified and cancel the call. And then essentially, it's like, who is this for, right? Who is this call for? Who is this not for? and that sort of thing. That being said, that is essentially how to increase your show rate. This is what I've been doing, and it's getting me to 72% on average show rate over a duration of 12 months. Again, not one, not two, not 3 months, over 12 months. And then number four here, the final part is going to be the no shows. Okay. So what happens when someone does no show? Well, essentially, there's a couple things. I don't want you to treat it as, this is like an end. There's no more of this person. Guys, no shows are your lowest hanging fruit. These people have, in a sense, already shown interest. They want your product. Maybe they got busy and they didn't no show, or sorry, they didn't show up. Guys, I've had people book in a call, okay? They no showed, and I didn't hear from them for 2 months. This is a real story. I didn't hear from this person for 2 months. I got on a call with him. He had a shit ton of pain, okay? And with that being said, on that call, I sold a piff. I paid in full. That guy paid in full after 2 months of not hearing from him. When I got on the call, obviously I do what I do, and I called him out for it. Like, hey man, you booked in 2 months ago. Obviously, you're still having some troubles here. Kind of talk to me. Like, what are we facing? This seems like a very big ordeal here because the last 2 months you've been dealing with the same thing, or else you wouldn't have booked this call in. Turns out this guy had a lot of personal issues. Um, Again, obviously, as I dug deep, I understood. Like, yeah, you know what, man? I was in your position. I would have not even take this call myself, right? But now, again, we're here. He wanted to grow the business. It was now the time, and he paid in full, right? So don't consider people who no show as bad quality. Um, I mean, yeah, some of the times it's going to be like the shitty quality people that are going to no show you. But you got to keep in mind, there's a very busy business owner out there who just didn't have time for his call, and then again got busy and he couldn't rebook it, right? But maybe you sent out an email, you did some follow up. But no shows, essentially, you want to treat it like a new lead, okay? So you're going to call them two times, or sorry, not two times. You're going to call them 3 times a day, morning, evening, or sorry, morning, afternoon, and evening. And you're going to double dial. So 2 times. So call 2 times every single time, in the morning, in the afternoon, and then in the evening, right? Again, you got to treat it as a new lead. This is the lowest hanging fruits. Essentially, these people have already showed you that they have, in a sense, some urgency. They showed intent and they're curious to what you do. You just need to now get them on the phone again, right? So, low hanging fruit, in a sense, these guys are always ready to go. You just got to get them back on the phone, okay? This, and as well, I should say, and I'll scroll up here so you can see, no shows and canceled calls. I treat them the exact same. Okay, so someone canceled the call. Maybe the people who canceled the call, they actually respected your time, and I appreciate people that cancel the calls. They say, "Hey, I'm busy," and then you got to reschedule them. Okay, now it's your job to reschedule. But these guys are your low hanging fruit. Call them 2 times a day, or sorry, 3 times a day. Double dial every single time, morning, afternoon, and evening. And as well, you're shooting off texts and emails. Now, just like the book call funnel, right? How we send over videos, okay? We're sending over videos, make sure it's personalized, and as well retarget these people. So you need to retarget these guys just how they were getting retargeted when they booked a call. So they no showed. Make videos specific to them no showing or them canceling a call, right? And when they go on Instagram, when they go on Facebook, wherever they go, they're going to see these videos. Hey man, the reason you're seeing this video is because you actually no showed a call. And that being said, I'm sure you still have the same problem that you did, last week. Okay. You're just essentially calling them out. Guys, don't be afraid to call people out and call it out what it's for. So that being said, it's super quick and easy. To get people back in is just build some curiosity, make them want to book the call in, right? Target them on text messages, sending them personalized videos, send them emails, retarget those guys. Okay. Now that's essentially it for the show rate and how to increase it. Again, guys, I actively run my agency. I'm not like some stupid fucking guru who quit everything and is just showing you guys after one good month of what to do. This is stuff I'm actively doing in my agency. Okay. That being said, if you guys are an agency owner and you're looking to scale, right, and you're helping the home service businesses, construction businesses, that is where we specialize. Okay. Again, we actively run my agency where we help concrete companies. And with that being said, I spend a shit ton of money on ad spend every single month. And with that, I give you guys absolutely everything that's working. And I tell you exactly what's not working. Everyone in the mastermind and everyone inside the mentorship gets access to this stuff. So you'll get access with one-on-one calls with myself once a week We have 3 group calls every single week where I will sit down and I'll make sure that every single one of you guys get your questions answered before I end the call. Not like, oh, hey, there's 10 hands being raised and, oh, it's that time. Gotta end the call. That's not how we operate. Okay. We make sure everyone's taken care of as well. You have 24/7 access to a group full of, essentially rich business owners, rich agency owners who are doing the exact same thing as you. So if you're struggling with something, if I can't answer, one of those guys definitely will be able to help you answer any sort of questions, right? And now as well, the most important parts is, again, we help you scale. So if you're at 15, 10,000, even $20,000 every single month, and you're just kind of stagnant and you want to start scaling to that 50,000 or even a hell $100,000 mark where we all want to be, this is for you. Okay. Now, this is not for you if you are not looking to scale, if you are not driven and you're not serious about growing the business and not looking to invest in your business. Okay. What you guys can do if you're that type of person who wants to invest and wants to scale your agency, I'll put a form down below where you can apply. Just put in your information, and you'll speak to either myself or one of the guys on the team, and we'll get you situated. That being said, guys, I look forward to speaking to you guys on the next call and next video. Other than that, have a good one. Peace.